Yes.
Let's go back
Yes,
to that
yes,
separation.
yes, yes.
How's Earl going to top that one? Oh, he'll top it.
Hello, y'all. Hello, y'all. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. And remember, in the Course in Miracles here on Facebook Live, and that ain't no jive, you need not believe the ideas in the Course in Miracles. You need not accept the ideas, and you need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may actively resist, and some of them you may find quite startling. But you're not asked to analyze it to death at all. You are not asked to judge it at all. So what do you do to prove it's true? The use of the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. I'll say it one more time. 38 years in, you can analyze the Course in Miracles all day and all night. It won't work for you. The Course in Miracles is not a teaching that you learn through debating and analyzing. That's not the way you learn the Course in Miracles. I know that may be the way you learn other things, but you're only going to get frustrated and disoriented. But if you use it, which means if you use the ideas will show you that they are true. Because the goal of the Course in Miracles is not knowledge. We're not studying the Course in Miracles so that we will have greater knowledge. The Course in Miracles says the motivation for learning it is you want peace. It's for people who want peace. You will never know everything at this level. So it doesn't really make any sense to come to this class thinking it's going to bring you to the level that you know everything. But the Course says what we want, and that's what I want, is peace. Anybody say they want some peace? No, I don't want. Okay, well, I do too. I'd like to have some peace. And the Course in Miracles definition of peace is total fulfillment. I want total fulfillment. It's not sitting on a mountain and contemplating your navel unless that's what you want to do. But it actually is having a sense of complete fulfillment. Like you're totally whole, nothing's missing. Not losing your peace, no matter what happens, no matter what's coming at you. This last week, my ego was like after me. You know, I was running down the street. My ego was, I'm getting you. I'm getting you. I'm after you. And what I mean by that is, the part of me that thinks I don't deserve to be happy, the part of me that believes I don't deserve love, the part of me that thinks I'm not enough, the part of me that's insecure, that has grievances. Anybody know about that? Yeah. Okay. That part of me gets upset when I dare love myself. When I dare allow myself to receive love. When I dare allow myself to have happiness and peace. Then the part of me that thinks I don't deserve it tries to convince me that that's a fluke. Anybody familiar with this?
Yes, sir.
But if you're not, maybe you will be one day. If you do this right, maybe you will be someday. It doesn't matter the things that came up to try to distract me. Doesn't matter. I don't know about you, I just had a birthday recently, and what I realized is that as long as I've been in the world, there's always been one thing or another that I thought needed to be different in order for me to be happy. I thought my race needed to be different, my sex needed to be different, my parents needed to be different, my looks needed to be different, my financial situation. It was always just something coming up, me getting upset about it, and thinking when I got that handled, then I'd be happy. Is anyone familiar with that?
Yes.
But you raise your hand if you're familiar with that. Even if you didn't raise your hand, I know you're familiar with that. All right, so I don't care whether you raise your hand or not. It's just like saying, everybody in the room breathe and raise your hand if somebody doesn't. I know you breathe it, okay? So it's not that just because you study the Course in Miracles, it means that things don't come up that are opposite to the way you want them to be. You're studying the truth so that when things come up, you will handle them differently than you did in the past so that you can maintain your peace no matter what's coming up. You will not be in this world and not have some things come up that you could choose to upset yourself about. So it's totally unrealistic to think that you're going to have a day that nothing happens all the time and you're happy all the time no matter what, but you know you still got some grievances, you know you still got some insecurities, you know you still got some fears. Those two things don't go together. Not having complete peace and thinking you're going to always have complete peace don't go together. Because the time you're not feeling love, you're not peaceful. So when things come up in the Course in Miracles, after studying it almost 40 years, let me give you a tip. You are being given new ways of interpreting all the stuff that your own fearful ego mind is going to bring up for you during the day. And it's not going to come from you, according to this, when I talk like this, I'm just saying what the Course says, it's not going to come from your brilliance. It's not going to come from you figuring it out. Because if you already knew how to figure it out, you'd already have complete peace about everything. So why don't we admit we need help? Why don't we admit that we don't know everything? Why don't we admit that there's another way to look at it? Why don't we admit we didn't create ourselves? So that we can be helped. That's why the Course says you don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to welcome it. The reason why it says that is so we'll let ourselves hear it, because if we think we have to believe something totally different, as soon as we hear it, the tendency is to have a lot of resistance. So it's not about your reactions to what they're saying. It's not even about you agreeing with it. Our agreement doesn't have anything to do with the truth of this. If it's true whether you agree with it or not. If something is true, it's true whether you believe it or not. True. So it's arrogance, the height of arrogance to believe that something isn't true unless you agree with it and it's your point of view. Because that means you think that the way you look at things should be the way everybody on earth looks at it. That your viewpoint is the viewpoint. In other words, you're saying, I'm God alone. I'm God. So everything has to run by me. You have to run everything by me, and when I say it, it's true, it's true. But even if I was going to believe a person who was saying that, it would definitely have to be, this person had to be unbelievably loving. They have to be so happy. They have to be so open. They have to be so kind, so receptive. Even if I'm going to even give somebody that kind of credence, it can't be a sad, unfriendly person. Right. And no sad, unfriendly person really knows the truth and is practicing it. No angry person is practicing the truth. So even if you were going to play like your point of view was the point of view that's the point of view, you better damn sure be the happiest person in the room. And you should be the friendliest and the most open and the most loving person in this room if you're God. So guess what? We all know where we stand, right? We know we're the same. So those of you on Facebook Live, thank you for joining me. I'm so happy that you're online with me. We have a great Mighty Companion Facebook family that tunes in every week that I'm so happy to share with. So we're going to be on page 334 in the Course in Miracles called The Reward of Teaching, The Reward of Demonstrating. Now, after reading this book from cover to cover well over 100 plus times and studied it and taught it full time for 30 years, I might be more familiar with it than some of you.
What page, Raj?
Page 334. In the text is page 334, The Reward of Teaching, chapter 16 on page 334 in the text of the Course. That's where we're at. Yeah, when you get a chance, you might want to get another book or either use one. Or use one from up here. I got one up here that's exactly the version that you would have. Then it would be easy. Because then you could just turn to the page and it'll be there. Okay. All right. Hey, Shannon. Anybody else want to come up and get a book?
Not now.
Come on up here. Come on up here. That's what I'm talking about. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Yes. All right. I got two ways that I feel about you. I either love you or want to. Those are the only two feelings I have. I either love you or I want to love you. That's it. That's it.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Now, my wanting to love you can take the form of anger, guilt, grievances, judgment, talking about you, not want to come anywhere near you, and then really want to get near you. All right? That can be my biggest call for love, can be my desire to love you, since I'm not an expert at it. I might make some mistakes. So the Course says, we've already learned that everybody teaches and teaches all the time. So the Course says teaching is to demonstrate. So everybody's teaching all the time, which means everybody's demonstrating all the time. So you are demonstrating all the time.
Hopefully.
What are the two things you're demonstrating? No, you're always demonstrating. There's no time you're not demonstrating. That's it. Just what you demonstrate. And the Course says, you may have taught well, which means you may have demonstrated well. You may have demonstrated what a crazy person looked like well. You may have demonstrated what a jealous person looks like well. You may have demonstrated what an insecure person looks like well. You may have demonstrated what a loving person looks like well. You may have demonstrated what a kind person. See, you have taught well. I'll just talk to your exes and find out what you really taught. It's a reason why y'all not together, and we know it's their fault. But that's settled. That's settled. That's why people rush into a new relationship so quickly. The problem wasn't with them, so just go out and get another person. It wasn't you. There's no reason why you should stop and look at maybe what you may have done to contribute to a relationship. So it was they were the problem. So now the next day I can be in love again without taking any time to look at what I might have contributed to the relationship.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So what the Course says is, you may not have learned how to accept the comfort of your teaching. If you will consider what you taught and how alien what you taught is to what you thought you knew. So in other words, if now you're trying to teach total peace and total love, if now you're trying to demonstrate what the Course is talking about, you'll realize how alien it is to what you thought you knew. Like if you're learning the Course that you're responsible instead of you being the victim, you're the creator of your experience and that no one's really done anything to you except giving you an opportunity to get past your own pattern. That's why they presented it to you so beautifully. Then you realize this might be alien to what I thought. See, I thought my daddy did it to me. This is alien. It said I did it to myself if I'm feeling upset about my daddy today because, first of all, my daddy passed when I was 23 years old. So if I'm still making my daddy responsible for what's happening in my relationships, that's delusional. Unless he's a ghost. And he's just talking to me as a ghost. So the point that I'm telling you is your mama, your father, your childhood is not responsible for what you're going through in your relationships right now. Did I say that your mother and your father in your childhood is not responsible? Why? Because right now, every relationship you're having, it is a result of what you're telling yourself and demonstrating when? Right now. My relationships are the result of the way I am now. They're not the result of the way I was at another time. Everything that's happening to you is happening to you because of the way you're thinking right now, today, not because of what happened to you in the past. The past means gone. That means it's not here. And if it's not here, it's not responsible for what you're going through. Now, where is it? It's in my mind. I'm carrying it around in my mind, and I'm letting that dictate my decisions. But that's not because it's really here. That's just because I'm remembering it and using it as a way to look at things. That's not bringing me any happiness. And the Course says on the basis of the fact that you don't feel happy, that should be enough to make you want to not use that anymore. Right? So it says, if you will consider what you taught, now work out the book because it's the book that makes everything happen. And I want you to see that it's readable. And so it says, your teacher came from beyond your thought system. You want to have somebody that's talking to you and teaching you from beyond the way that you're thinking that's not bringing you peace. So you need somebody to talk to you different from the way you think. Then the Course says, therefore, your teacher, who is love, your teacher is love, your teacher is spirit, your teacher is divine, your teacher is within you. The Course is saying, It's only talking about love or what's not love. So your teacher is love. So your teacher, your guide, can look upon your way of thinking fairly. And what happens when God or truth looks upon the way we think fairly? It says, well, it perceives it's untrue. Anybody that's smarter than us, any being that's more aware of love than we are, it looks at the way we're thinking that's causing us fear, and it says, that's not true. That's not, that love is not available for you, that's not true. Abundance is not available for you, that's not true. Happiness is not available to you, that's not true. Because you've already always had relationships that were challenges, you think that's what's got to happen in the future, that's not true. That you're going to die, that's not true. That you're a victim, that's not true. Yes, but, 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 yes, but. And we know y'all all have really cute what? Yes, buts. Okay? And then the Course in Miracles says your teacher must have done so it was untrue from the basis of a very different thought system and one with nothing in common with yours. So the way a loving mind thinks is a very different thought system. It doesn't have anything in common with what an angry, fearful person thinks. So a loving person thinks exactly opposite from a guilty, angry person. Now I'm going to keep it simple. We're only talking about love or fear, which is the same as saying we're only talking about peace or conflict, lack or abundance. All those are, love is peace, harmony, abundance, joining, connection. Fear is anger, guilt, grievances, sickness, attack. So we're just talking about love or fear. Can I keep it simple?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that okay, or do we need really complicated truth? Okay, the reason why we like complicated truth is that if it's real complicated, then I got an excuse for not practicing it yet because I don't understand it. But if it's simple, I have to just admit I don't want to do it. And I'm going to make it ridiculously simple, okay? Because I think that anything that's the truth should be simple, easily understood, and you can do it based on where you are right now. That would be useful to me. I need something that I can use today, right now. That's what I love about God. That's what I love about love. My Creator accepts me where I am and loves me where I am and teaches me where I am. It doesn't wait until I fix myself, then I come to it. In other words, it doesn't do human love. Human love ain't going to help you unless you do a certain thing a certain way. All right? So the Course says, now, love must have done so from the basis of a very different thought system and one with nothing in common with yours, for certainly what love or the truth has taught and what you have taught through the truth have nothing in common with what you taught before the truth came. And the results have been to bring you peace where there was pain. Suffering has been replaced with joy.
I won't do that again.
Well, I'm gonna put a little sign on that seat. I'm gonna put a little sign on that seat, off limits. Yeah, because it's very normal for people to think they can do that, but they never can.
Spirit sits there.
Sorry, Facebook Live companions. You won't forgive him.
I personally, I personally have never knocked anything over. I've never done that. I've never done that at all. And that is pretty much true about anything you're upset with somebody else about. Yeah. Even murder. There's a lot of mosquitoes will attest to that. Okay? So you've killed something before.
Yes.
Since you've been on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't kill it. You just took its body out. That's all you can do is take a body out. And you can't take a body out unless the soul of that body is ready to go to the next level. That's deep.
Yes.
Nobody dies without their consent. But I'm not talking about the ego that's sitting in the room. I'm talking about your soul that's projecting what appears to be this body and this personality. See, we're like the tail wagging the dog, or attempting to. You did not create yourself, and you are more than that physical human identity that you think you are. You're an unlimited spiritual being having a human experience, acting according to programming and teachings you got from the day you were born that weren't true. How do you know they're not true? Because you're not completely content and happy. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. If how I feel is coming from what I'm telling myself right now, then what I'm telling myself right now is what I've learned to tell myself based on my past experience. So how I'm feeling right now is coming from my past learnings. If I learn correctly, then what I'm telling myself should give me peace and allow me to get my guidance. If I'm listening to what the world taught me and what I taught myself, I'm up and down, happy sometimes, not happy other times, looking for something outside myself to change in order for me to be happy. I'm trying to find a person to have a relationship with who will validate me in some way and make me feel special and important. And I judge them. If they don't do it, then I don't treat them too nice. Usually my ego would want to make them feel so guilty they do what I wanted them to do. And I love you. I love you so much. So don't feel guilty if you're doing everything wrong. Because the guilt just reinforces that. You're never supposed to feel guilty. You're just supposed to say that's a mistake and I need another way to look at it. Guilt doesn't do anything. Only thing that guilt does is what the court says guarantees that you'll do it again. Whatever you feel guilty about, you're going to do it again. So when someone tells me they feel guilty, I just have to prepare myself for them doing it again. Now, they may tell me, they may not tell me. They probably won't tell me if I beat them up or went off on them or cussed them out the last time they were honest with me about what they said. So if you think for 1 second you can go off on somebody when they're telling you the truth about what they're feeling and think that's going to encourage that person to continue to be open and honest with you, you're crazy. They won't. They'll stop telling you what's going on and they'll still do it if they feel guilty about it. You just won't know. Everybody else will. You're always the last one to know in a special relationship. Because you're the one that's so special. You're the one that's so special that they're afraid of losing you, so they'll hide things from you that they would never hide from their friends and their other folk. So the most special one is always pretty much the last one to really know what's going on. Think about it. You know stuff about your friends, some of your friends right now that their partners don't know. Because they love their partner. They're afraid to lose their specialness from their partner, so they don't tell them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all sitting at the table for lunch, and they see somebody coming in, and they go, wow, that is a good, whoa, she is fine. Wow, woo, don't you think so? To your friend, you'll say that. Special mate sitting there.
Don't even look.
I was in Denver, and once a year they have what they call the topless parade. Women who say they have just as much a right to not have to wear a top as men do. So they don't want to live according to what society is telling them about their body. They feel innocent about their breasts. They think people can survive a nipple. You notice that's what we can't survive is the nipple. If you look on TV, the only thing that's covered is the nipple. All the rest of it is going to be there, but the nipple is, see, that's crazy. See, that's called insanity. But it makes sense to us because everybody tends to do it. So they go, because it's not illegal in Denver. You can go topless anytime, any place in Denver and not get... Colorado is an interesting state. And they wonder why we're having a population boom. You got legalized pot and nipples. And not necessarily in that order, you know what I'm saying? And I had the cutest nipples you've ever seen. Okay, and I can show mine into that. Oh, that's a man, you know, no problem. I can get on the elevator topless and go down to my car if I want to. You know, but a woman, her nipples, right? So the Course in Miracles says, when we are told the way we think and somebody just says it to us, that we kind of get an idea of how crazy it is. Like when I said that, even though you all would probably freak out if somebody pulled their top off, open-minded, true students. When I tell you that, you can see the insanity of it. Because the Course says anytime we hear the way we think said back to us, we see how crazy it sounds. But if we just hear it in bits and pieces, it doesn't seem so crazy. But when somebody just put the whole thing together, it sounds crazy. And so, for research purposes, I went down to the parade. Because I wanted them to feel innocent. And I wanted to acknowledge their innocence. Yes. And so they went down to 16th Street, several hundred, topless, men and women, but primarily women. And they went down, they marched down the 16th Street Mall. So what I did was, I got ahead of the group and got on the bus. Because they was walking down. Because more than watching them, because I've seen quite a few nipples in my life. Instead of watching them, I wanted to watch the people's reaction. See, to me, that would be a lot more fun than watching them, would be watching. Could you imagine if you didn't know anything about this and you weren't expecting this? And you're sitting on the mall and all of a sudden several hundred women are coming towards you topless? Yeah. So what I loved was I wanted to watch couples. Right? Now, it was interesting to watch couples sitting in the table when they looked up and they saw these women coming. Some couples, I saw the women go, touch their partner and go, look at that. That's a trip, you know, and they're talking about it. And then I saw some men that was checking it out, right? And then I saw some men that was with their partners and they were like this. It's like no way on earth they were going to look consciously. One of them was afraid and the other one wasn't. Their relationship wasn't threatened by looking at the human body coming down the street, where another couple, he was terrified to look because he was with a terrified mate. And they were both terrified together, because I'm sure that he probably would have done the same thing himself about something in his experience. My point is, them walking down the mall was neutral. What wasn't neutral is everybody's reaction to it. That's where everything is. Everything is neutral. What's never neutral is your reaction to it. And it's your reaction to it that determines how you feel. So when people say to me they have no choice but to feel the way they feel, that is not true. Your feelings are coming from your interpretations of your experience, and that's what he's saying here. Love has a very different thought system, one with nothing in common with yours. For certainly what love is taught, or spirit has taught, and what you taught through love, through spirit, have nothing in common with what you taught before the truth or spirit came. The results have been to bring you peace where there was pain, and suffering has disappeared to be replaced with joy. So now I have more peace than I used to have, because I have this brand new thought system that brought me peace where there used to be pain. Suffering has replaced, joy has replaced my suffering, because the Course in Miracles taught me another way of thinking. It taught me another way of looking at things. And because of that, I could look at that and not judge those women and not get upset about it. And also not feel like I was having a major erotic experience because I was looking at it either. I'm going to tell you that. It wasn't like I was, no. Because I'm much more interested in the love and the energy that's coming through bodies now than I am in the way the body looks. Now, if I see a really great looking body, I say, wow, that's an awesome communication device. That's what I say, literally. You know, that's wow. That's an awesome communication device, so that I won't ever forget that ain't the person. What you're going to be dealing with is that person's consciousness, that person's mind, that person's beliefs. That's what you're going to be dealing with regardless of what the body looks like. It took me a long time to learn that. I had a lot of failed experiences before I finally got it. You know, and it was fun. It was. I got into metaphysics and new thoughts when I was 23. And I just had my 68th birthday. And everything I wanted to manifest, I manifested. I got into metaphysics, and they said that about you can creatively visualize, and you can believe, and if you believe and visualize it, you're a creator, you'll manifest it, you'll draw it to yourself. That was exactly my experience. So I manifested every fantasy I could think of, because I also learned I was innocent. So that meant I could explore my experience in any way I wanted to explore my experience without guilt. And so I did. And so I either had what I wanted manifest, or when it did, I had changed my mind to the point that I was no longer interested when it manifested. So I know you have the power as creators to visualize and manifest. And if your manifestation ability when it comes to a car or something like that isn't up to snuff yet, you can just go down to the car lot and buy one. That's manifesting too. You know what I mean? So I know you can do that, but I hadn't dealt with my anger, guilt, insecurities, grievances, my shadow side, my fear. I hadn't dealt with a lot of my programming, so when I manifested the things I wanted, I was not satisfied, and I didn't always give myself peace through it. Can you relate? Yes. So yeah, you can put all your attention on manifesting, But you'd be smarter to put your attention on peace and being able to maintain peace and love no matter what you manifested. Yeah. It's funny that people believe that they can visualize or create or manifest when it comes to like a car or a relationship or things they want. But when something so-called negative happens, they don't want to own that they manifested that too. Yeah. It's not like that universal law only works when it's you on the refrigerator. That universal law is working all the time. You have always attracted to you. You've always manifested since you were born. That's not, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Isn't that what they tell you? So we don't want to be ignorant of the law. So the Course in Miracles is saying there is a way that loving people think, or loving mind thinks, and then there's a way that fearful people think who think that they're separate. If you know the difference between those two thought systems, and you're talking to this person that has a body, and you're paying attention to their mind, then you will know whether or not to get more deeply involved with that person for your own peace. That's why communication is the most important aspect of a relationship. So the Course in Miracles is saying to us, you may have taught freedom, but you haven't learned how to be free. You're teaching freedom, but you haven't learned how to be free. And I said earlier, by their fruits you shall know them, and they shall know themselves. So you know yourself by what you're producing. You can know who you are and how you think by what you're producing in your life right now. And either you're producing a lot of peace or you're producing a lot of drama. Right? And then it goes on to say, for it is certain that you will judge yourself according to your teaching. So I'm going to judge myself according to what I'm telling you today. That's how I'm going to judge myself. If I'm telling you you should be kind and understanding and take responsibility, don't you think that I'm going to judge myself according to how kind I am, how much I take responsibility? Whatever you are telling people, that's what you are going to judge yourself by, whether you realize it or not. So be aware of that. Right? And then the Course in Miracles says the ego's teaching, the teaching of the world, the teaching based on what you've learned, it says the ego's teaching produces immediate results. It seems like the stuff I don't want to happen that upsets me happens like that. Right. But when I say I want to have this unbelievably beautiful, conscious, bountiful life, it seems like that doesn't happen as fast. Seems like it's easier to have an argument or upset like that, but having complete peace with my partner, that seems like that's a challenge. Well, the Course in Miracles says, the ego's teaching produces immediate results because its decisions are immediately accepted as your choice. I believe that it's easier. I believe that people are not to be trusted more than I believe that people are to be trusted. So when I meet people and it looks like they betray my trust quickly, I already believed I couldn't trust them. So I'm already thinking in that direction, so I got immediate results. But the idea that I can trust all of you equally, now that's something that I've got to learn to do. So it looks like having people that I'm surrounded by that I feel like I have total trust with, and they have total trust with me, it looks like that's a little bit harder to manifest in people who upset me. Because I've already learned that's the easiest thing to manifest. So it's easier to manifest anger, guilt, grievances, upsets, and disappointments sometimes than it is to manifest enlightenment. Why? Because I have had experience after experience after experience after experience that's been based on some form of upset, broken into by periods in which I seem to be happy. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes. Okay. Then it says, and this experience means, notice it said means, it means the Course is about to tell you what it means, which means there's no need to figure it out. It says that you are willing to judge yourself accordingly. So I'm willing to judge myself according to what? What I accept as my choice. I judge myself by my choices. Do you judge yourself by your choices? Yes. Then it says cause and effect are very clear in the ego's thought system because all your learning has been directed toward establishing the relationship between cause and effect. So we believe that everything that has manifested has a cause. Even if we're a fear-based person, we think that we believe in the law of cause and effect. Anybody here that doesn't believe in the law of cause and effect? Okay. So the Course then says, and would you not have faith in what you so diligently have taught yourself to believe? If I've taught myself to believe in cause and effect, then would I not believe in it if that's what I've taught myself to believe? So what you believe is what you have taught yourself to believe. And you judge yourself according to your teaching, your demonstrating, and what you believe. Now, the person that would feel self-conscious about walking topless down the street and is judging all those women doing it, she would have a real issue if she attempted that. Yeah. She would probably make herself feel very ashamed and guilty because she's projecting that on everybody else. That's her teaching. That's her belief. It's amazing to me that things that everybody has, freaks us out so much and seems so special. All of us generally got the same body parts, but yet we freak out. It's just different shapes and sizes. And some of us have better sizes than others. In our judgment. In our judgment. In our judgment. So it isn't the body that's that unique and special. It's the consciousness and the mind that's operating through that body that makes that person really cool. Right? In the end, it's what kind of person that person is on the inside, the way they think that you are spending time with, that's going to be the thing that makes them exciting. Their body is not really that unusual or that unique. Now, we have judged and learned that certain shaped bodies are more appealing than other shaped bodies, but that's just our judgments. It has nothing to do. In the South, where I came from, there's a great turn-on that happens with women who are very full-bodied. That's actually like, I want somebody with some meat on their bones, right? And then in other parts of the country, it's as thin as you can be. That's what it is. So what does that prove? None of it means anything. None of it matters. None of it makes any real difference. We are the one that's making it up. Yep. That's why racism is so stupid. It's the stupidest thing. You want to show me an ignorant person? I've often said this, and I'll say it again. A racist is the most ignorant mind that I could ever walk or see, and I used to be one. That's why I was born in the South, black. It's not hard to, if the law of cause and effect is not too hard for me to guess where all that came from. You see what I'm saying? You will meet yourself. All that you give is given to yourself. You don't have to worry about it. What you're putting out there, you will get a chance to see if you can handle it. I've never dated a person who had a problem with me giving them total freedom to be themselves. The challenge came up was when I wanted to claim mine. See, people love for you to practice the truth on them. Oh, you're going to forgive them? You're going to be kind with them? You're going to take responsibility and not get upset? You're going to be sane? Oh, they love it. But if they haven't done their work, when you need it, they can't show up like that. So that's why you need to be with equals. You need to be with somebody that's got the same goal you have and you want to save some time. I'm telling you. And so it says, wouldn't you have faith in what you have so diligently taught yourself to believe? Yet remember how much care you have exerted in choosing the witnesses to what you believe. Think about how much we really look for things that validate what we believe. Even to the point we'll overlook. Like, let's say I think that my life sucks. That means everybody that smiles to me today, wants to help me today, that's kind to me today, I won't even remember it. Wow. I'll totally edit that out and say, everybody was crappy to me today. Because what? I'm going to choose the witnesses to what I believe. And also, I'm going to avoid those witnesses that speak for the truth. So if I want to deceive myself and stay unhappy and in fear, I am not going to spend time with people who are going to remind me that I'm loved and the truth. So your company, the company you hang out with, is the best indication you could have about what you want to experience and what you want witnesses for. See, that's too simple. That's just much too simple. Any questions or any comments about what I've covered so far in this little simple Course in Miracles class? Which some of you are struggling to stay conscious, that's okay. And some of you are on the edge of your seat, and that's okay. I don't care. Yeah. By the way, Lachey, I went to see Lachey. She sings in a band called Atunga. Amazing. And it was a frigging off the chain. Off the chain. And you should have saw what she was wearing on her communication device. I didn't care what she said.
I was gonna say from this I just get your vibe attracts your tribe.
That's right. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And judging by the tribe that I'm attracting and have attracted to myself, I have a cool vibe. The people in this room, my personal friends, they are really cool, conscious, or want to be conscious, who have the goal of not trying to make each other feel guilty and taking responsibility for themselves. Those friends are a lot easier than the ones that I used to have when I was in my guilty mind, who was judging me about everything I did or didn't do. Right? Anybody else?
Yes.
I just need to remember that my teacher comes from beyond my thought system. So a lot of times, you know, like what was just being said, like I look for the things that validate my beliefs, and it's like I have to realize that the new beliefs I want come beyond my current thought system. So it might be a struggle at first. It might feel uncomfortable at first because I'm making a different choice than I've ever made.
That's right. That's right. That's why the Course says the hardest part is the beginning. Because in the beginning, you're being confronted with beliefs and thoughts that are totally opposite to what you believe. And so you don't really see the witnesses to them at first. So it'll look like your old way of thinking has more validity because you manifested it. So in order to change, you cannot judge what the new information based on what you're experiencing at the time you receive it. Because what you are experiencing right now is a result of the beliefs you've already accepted. And what I'm giving you through the Course are new ideas that are like seeds that have to be planted and nurtured. And you nurture them through repetition, not through analyzation. You nurture through repetition, not analyzation. Anybody else? Questions, comments?
Just that it's simple.
It's so simple. It's so, and guess what? We have help, invisible help, divine help. You are not alone. You are not alone. God is real. The Creator does exist. The Course says we have a communication problem. Yeah. It's not that the Creator doesn't exist. We don't know how to communicate with the Creator, nor do we recognize the communication that we're receiving because of what? Because of what I've already learned and what I already believe. See, if I believe there's no such thing as God, it would make sense to me that if God was creating, communicating with me, I would choose the witness that says God doesn't, right? We're gonna validate our belief. If I believe that love isn't here for me, then I'm not gonna see the witnesses for love. That's what the Course is saying. God is no more real than your desire to get past the blocks to having the communication. Doesn't mean that the Creator doesn't exist just because you don't believe in it. And that's good news. That means you are being provided for, you are being provided for, you are being taught at all times, whether you believe it or not. And you know what's really cool? One day, you'll suffer so much through listening to yourself that you will finally be open to another way of looking at it. Isn't that wonderful? So you just go right ahead with your doubts. Just go right ahead with your analyzation. You know what? I'm very patient. I'm very patient. I will wait for you, and this is the way a patient spiritual being does it. They have fun all the time while they're waiting for you to decide you want to join. So I'll wait for you, but I'm going to be having a good time and giving myself more peace waiting for you. Isn't that a cool arrangement? Yeah. I'm going to keep letting myself have love. I'm going to keep giving myself peace. I'm going to keep learning. You can stall around. You can suffer as long as you think you need to. And then when you're ready to go beyond your suffering and really love, then I'll meet you right where you are. But in the meantime, I'm partying like a big dog. That's the way you wait patiently, in love. Right? You don't join them in the suffering. I say this again. True empathy does not mean you join the person in their suffering. It actually means that you empathize, and at the same time, you're going to demonstrate the other way that they could do it if they would choose to. That's because as a teacher, you have to demonstrate. If I join you in your sadness and upset, I'm just reinforcing it. But if I don't join you in it, I'm showing you there's another alternative you could choose because I'm not different from you. Yep. See, that's what's so cool about it. Anybody else?
So it was my birthday recently, and I felt disappointed about something. And then I was with a friend yesterday who took me out and said, well, don't you want to say something to them? And I said, no, because I've learned in Course in Miracles that I just want to let my friends be. And she said, well, don't you want to let them know your feelings? And I said, no, because if what you just said earlier, I've been living, if that were different, I'd be happy. I can't have all that make me feel unhappy or happy.
Thank you.
And I feel so grateful. I'm finally getting it.
because you've been repeating it to yourself and trying to apply it. See, you allow your feelings. Like if you had been upset about it, you let yourself feel your feelings. But then you would say, and at least I can decide I don't like the way I feel about this, and so I hope I'm wrong, right? I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I mean, I hope there's another way for me to look at it that I don't have to be upset. Perhaps I can ask for that. See, I'm not trying to be cold and callous when I say to you all, I don't want anything about my happiness to depend on y'all. That's what makes me a really good friend. That's what will make me a loving person for you to be around. Because if I don't have that expectation of you, I don't have a grievance with you. So would I be willing to experience joy and happiness through any of you? Absolutely. Do I want to make my happiness dependent on any of you? Absolutely not. Because we don't even know how to give it to ourselves yet on a totally consistent basis. So why would I want to make my happiness dependent on a person who's miserable anyway? Right? It would be better if I gave myself happiness and then shared my happiness with them. See, if you want to help the world, you be happy. You really want to benefit everybody in this world. You take care of yourself and allow yourself to see the beauty and the power of yourself. Don't try to do it before you do it for yourself, right? Because you can't give what you don't have. So no unhappy, miserable person is going to make somebody else happy. Even though miserable people are always looking for somebody. It's kind of cruel. I mean, think about it. I'm completely miserable, but I want to be your mate. And then I can put that responsibility on you. Right? Just like what you were saying, it's my birthday, so somebody should have done something, right? So people who aren't ready to take responsibility for their happiness hate classes like mine. They don't want to come back and they don't want to read anything that has anything, and I don't care. Because if a person doesn't like what I'm saying and doesn't like me and they decide to leave, I'm too loving toward myself to feel like that's a loss. When I used to chase after them and say, well, what can I do? What can I do? How can I change? How can I change? What can I do so you won't leave me? What can I do? It's like, don't let the door hit you. Why? Because you don't love me. Yeah. And you want to get away from me? Mm-hmm. Go.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That leaves me without somebody that doesn't love me, which creates a vacuum which the universe abhors, and then somebody else will fill that vacuum that you left, who probably will love me more than you because I'm not running after you, which means I value myself, which means I'll probably attract somebody who values me more than you do. Where if I ran after you, that's a lack of value for myself. If I don't, that's me valuing myself. I've raised my level of consciousness. Now the person that replaces you will be on a higher level of consciousness than you and more loving than you. And you can always tell when somebody's with somebody that they love better than you after y'all break up because you'll never hear from them no more. Think about it. Yeah. Then the ones who haven't found somebody better than you, a lot of times they'll be the ones that's kind of come back. Because then they see what you were offering that they didn't let themselves have. That's why they like, well, you know, maybe we can give it another go. But you think they'd be calling you back for another go if they had connected with somebody that they enjoyed more than you? I don't think so. No. Can I go a little further? Yes. Anybody want me to go a little further? Yes. All right. Don't say I don't give you a chance to say what you feel and think. All right. Here we go. Doesn't the fact that you haven't learned what you taught show you that you don't see us as one? Doesn't it also show that you don't regard yourself as one? Well, it's impossible to teach successfully wholly without conviction. And it's equally impossible that conviction be outside of you. It's impossible that your conviction be outside. How can my conviction be outside of me? My conviction has to be inside of me. And I have the conviction that this is true. I have the conviction that we deserve love. I have the conviction that love is real and God is real. I have the conviction. You have to have conviction. Your conviction can temporarily sustain the disbelief of other people. You have all seen great speakers who motivate. One of the things I loved about Barack Obama at the very beginning was that I had not seen that level of being able to inspire people since back in the 60s with King and Kennedy and all of them when I was younger.
Right.
I mean, you know, he drew 100,000 people more than once in many places. That's what I actually, to be honest, that's what I missed the most after he was president. All of that stopped. And so what happened? He was so convicted that he could temporarily sustain the conviction of other people that were listening. That's what I hope I can do sometimes for some people.
You do.
That people can feel my sincerity, my conviction enough to go, you know what? That makes sense, black man. You know? Because some, you know, the Course says there is no way the truth can come to a person who hasn't decided that they really want it that's going to be satisfying to them. That's why many people go from one teaching to another teacher, to another teaching, to another teacher, to another teaching, to another teacher, because they're not sincere. And so nothing that anybody tells them is satisfying. I bet you some of you who've been doing your own metaphysical, spiritual journey, you've noticed one thing as you went through many different teachings. They are all basically saying the same thing. I don't care what book you go to, they're basically, there's some little variations because we need some variation maybe to get you hooked. But the truth is not that different when you hear it. So don't forget that my sister is a total Bible scholar. She does the Bible up and down every way possible. When she and I talk, we are saying the exact, she's gotten everything that the Course is teaching out of the Bible. It's such a trip that I can talk to other people who are into the Bible and they just judge.
Yep.
What's wrong with what I'm teaching, what's wrong with what everybody else is doing, use it to condemn and judge. So you're going to get out of anything you study you. And you're going to get out of anything you study what you want to get and a reflection of what? Who you are and the thought system you want to be true. Right? So I'm not seeking anymore. I'm no longer a seeker. I found. And so what I'm doing is trying to live what I've found to the best of my ability. So people are still always bringing new things and different things for me to take a look at and study. And you know, I'll check things out, you know. But actually, I found. I'm not seeking. This works for me. So all I want to do is do it better. I hope you find the thing that works for you. You actually can find. You don't have to always be a seeker. How can you tell when you found your path?
You feel peace.
You may not always be at peace, but you won't stop studying it. You won't stop doing it because it should bring up some discomfort if you're really learning something totally different from everything that you believe. That should not. Don't think that you're doing something wrong because if you study in the Course, you feel a lot of resistance. The resistance is because it's different to what you already believe. And that's not a bad thing. You're not gonna always feel peace on the way to peace. And as soon as you realize that, you won't take your upset so seriously. But if you tell yourself you got to have peace every minute while you're learning to get rid of the blocks to peace, then you're going to beat yourself up unnecessarily every time you have a bad day. You're going to feel like you're some kind of failure. Yeah. But if you, within your path, can go, I'm going to give room for me not being so happy, for me sometimes getting upset as part of my learning experience, you take things in stride. But if you're one of these people that think being in the truth means you have to be positive all the time, then you're going to have a rough ride. Because you're going to have a lot of things happen to you that you don't know why. Because you got so many subconscious, negative, fearful thoughts that you're not owning up to, that you're meeting through your experience to show you you're not as nice as you think you are. So if you're one of these nice people that's always got some drama, you got some guilt and some grievances that need to be released. You're not as nice as you think you are. That's what they've been telling you. It's a reason for that. That's no accident. So to wind this down, it says, I love this. Oh, well, this is so good. This, God. I really want to be loving.
Me too.
I really want to be the kind of person I'd like to meet. I'm so tired of expecting other people to be the way I'm not. I want to see who's attracted to me, who recognizes me. I don't want to seduce. I don't want to get. I don't want to chase. I want to see who sees me. Who sees me. And because they see me, they're drawn to me. I don't have to chase at all. People that, if I tell them how awesome they are, how beautiful they are, and I'm sincere about that, actually attracts them. That they actually make that makes you more of a priority, rather than those people who can see you being that way and never respond. But the person that's mistreating them, the person that's unavailable, the person that doesn't even notice them, they're doing everything in their power to try to get that person's attention. Giving them everything they think they got to give, physically, emotionally, and everything, just to try to get that person's attention. Holy universe, I want not that kind of person in my life anymore.
Amen.
And I'm willing to be with nobody for I don't care how long, if that's how long it takes to have people come into my life who see me and recognize me and love me. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You know you're valuable. If nobody is noticing it, then those people are not the ones for you to be trying to get close to. Stop chasing after what's not available to you. Stop chasing after people who aren't interested in you. You need to be around people who are saying you're valuable, you're beautiful, they appreciate you. Anybody that's afraid to give you a compliment, that is not someone that you want to be in an intimate relationship with. You go, well, they did tell me last Valentine's Day. It's ridiculous that we have to have an official day to tell somebody they're valuable and then have the audacity to think it's canon that proves it. That's another totally insane thought. But the spirit of it is beautiful. The spirit of, this is going to be a time we appreciate somebody and let somebody know. So don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it because we are so deep into fear and separation that we have to have these kind of structures to do anything that reflects any kind of love. Isn't that deep? We have to have a Christmas where we give gifts. Because we wouldn't do it. A lot of us wouldn't do it otherwise. Do y'all really think this is normal? Do y'all really think that this world is normal? Those of us who never thought it was normal, who were born not thinking it's normal, and who felt like they were weird because they never wanted to buy into this system whatsoever, I am here for you. I am here for you. Weird people unite. I'm not here for the people who want to do the way the world do it a little bit better. I'm not your teacher. I'm not interested in being your teacher. I want the people that go, it's crazy the way we do relationships. It's crazy the way we do love. It's crazy the way we do prosperity and the way we look at ourselves. I know there's more to life than what I'm experiencing. I know I'm more than what I'm being taught. I don't want to buy into this system anymore. Though you are the ones I'm appealing to, not the normal people.
Right on.
You got enough teachers. I want the people that got alternative everything. I want to know you. The one that's hiding who they are because they're afraid that if they really revealed who they were, people would turn their backs on them. The ones who've learned that thought system of guilt and shame. I want to meet the people who don't freak out about nipples. But they don't mean that they're lusting for them. Do you feel me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I'm not going to have that unless I am that. You're not going to have it until you become it. You want happy people, you want joyful people, doggone it, you act joyful. You act excited about being together in this room and online with each other. Don't sit back and wait for everybody else to do it. You do it. When they were performing last night, people were screaming and yelling to the top of their lungs. Why? Because they were genuinely loving and appreciating what they were receiving. So if we're genuinely loving and appreciating this truth that we're studying in this class that we have, and me as your teacher, then show each other. Be enthusiastic. Not in order to assuage my ego. I don't need it. It's giving what you want to receive. And we have an opportunity to give that to each other because you're in a room where you could be weird and nobody would judge you for it. But that's when we act the straightest. It's weird. Like we where we can be weird, then we quiet and conservative, and then we go talk to our parents weird, and they think we're crazy. So we'll act weird with the people who reject us, and then we'll be quiet and conservative where we could say anything and be any kind of way. Stop being afraid to be yourself. You can be yourself around me. Stop being afraid to be yourself. Stop being afraid to be yourself. You don't have to be the program.
Thank you.
You don't have to be the programming you got from the day that you were born. That is not you. I want to get to know you. Who are you? Beyond the mask, like he said here. Remember how much care you've exerted in choosing your witnesses and avoid those who speak for the truth. Don't avoid the people who love you, speak for the truth, give you peace. Make sure you spend time with those people. Or not. Acknowledge yourself for hearing this much Holy Spirit. Whoa! Whoa! Pretend it's a shame. Yeah! Yeah! Pretend it's a Congo. The band I heard last night. Yeah. Pretend it's the used to be Broncos. Do you love the Broncos just as much now as you did when they won the Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying? Some people do. Some people are fickle. Right? They only appreciate you when it looks like you're the winning. The minute it looks like you're having any kind of challenge, they're gone. You don't want those kind of people in your life anymore.
No more fans.
Is there anybody here that wants to join me on getting realer? Can we do it? I don't care if it's 10 of us. But if it's 10 people that I can totally be myself with and you will totally be yourself with me, that's who I want to teach.
Right on.
That's who I want to teach. So we've been in this too long. We got to do it.
Let's do
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
We got to do it. See, my ego messing with me this week, it only made me more determined to practice the truth. It didn't make me want to run away. It made me go, oh, I need to get on it more. Thank you so much for sharing with me. I'm a full-time teacher. That's what I do in the world, and I appreciate those of you who realize that enough to share with me. I really do. I have the same exact needs in the world that you have. And it's not charity. I get up here and I teach. I'm not standing on the corner with a sign. I'm actually giving. And I deserve to receive. Don't I deserve to receive? Don't I deserve to receive? Do you deserve to receive? Yeah, sometimes people think because you do spiritual stuff, you don't have to eat. Now, I'll be that way one day. I ain't there yet. But I'm sustained by the love of God. But who does God give to us through each other?
Yes.
It's through each other. It's through showing appreciation for what appreciates you. And I'm going to be okay regardless of what anybody else does.
You bet.
You know, I've done this for 30 years. I know God will provide for me regardless of what people give me or not give me.
Yes.
That is better than winning the lottery.
Yes.
Is knowing that I am sustained by something that loves me. But those of you who share with me, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because you give to other things you value. So if you value me and what I do, thank you for showing me that in yourself. I am you. I am you. I am you. I am you. I'm not somebody else, and you're not somebody else. We all deserve to receive. We all deserve to receive. Whatever you're doing in the world, I want you to receive from it.
Yes.
That's why my heart goes out to those 800,000 federal workers, even though they are not victims.
Yes.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that I can't feel compassion
Yes.
and want them to receive what they deserve to receive. Even as in, I don't see them as a victim, because we're always creating what's happening to us, and there's a lesson in that for us, and God is there for you, and their income does not depend on the government ending the shutdown.
Yeah.
Now, them receiving money through that form may depend on the government shutdown ending. Them receiving income does not depend on the government. That comes from consciousness. That comes from spirit. That comes from your connection to source. So they don't have to not receive because of what a call for love president in Congress is doing or not doing. Hear me now, because there's no area that we're more tempted to see ourselves as victims as when it comes to the government. When it comes to the government, we act like big old children that's waiting for our government to take care of us. And then the politicians present it just that way, like they're going to take care of us. And then we sit back like children and go, what is my senator going to do to make sure that things are taken care of? That's victim consciousness. A conscious being knows that they are sustained by the Creator. The Creator will always provide for them, regardless of what man does.
Right.
That's why I study. I don't want to be dependent on people.
Me neither.
People don't know how to love yet. But we're doing better than we used to be. It ain't the 14th century, let me tell you. Now that was a whole nother bag. Don't you remember?
Crazy. Off with my head.
Off with, especially Patricia, off with her head. That's right. So those of you online, if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation to me, all those great hearts, I love you. Just go to my website, earlpurdy.com. P-U-R-D-Y. And I'm available to work with you to let go of these blocks that aren't that complicated. If you're really tired, if you really had enough, give yourself an opportunity to work with me.
Do it.
I've never heard an original problem. We don't have original problems. Let this year be the year you say, I have reached my limit. I am not going to continue to suffer in any way that I don't necessarily have to, and I don't necessarily have to in any area. Let this be the time. Now, I'm willing to work with you. You have mighty companions surrounding you. You're not by yourself. That's why when you really begin to wake up spiritually, you let people suffer who choose to continue to do the same thing, even though they have been presented with alternatives that are available to them that they can use, and they're still choosing to keep the same pattern that they've done. You honor those beings by letting them have that experience. So you have no excuse now. But if you ever see me again, ever, you have no excuse. You have no excuse, Earl. Earl, you have no excuse. Raj, you have no excuse. You, mighty companions, you have no excuse now. You can have relationships that really are wonderful. You don't have to suffer financially. You have no excuse. It ain't your daddy. It ain't your mama. It ain't your childhood. You got to let that go now. There's a time for spiritual maturity instead of spiritual adolescence. And there are many people in this room and on this online. You know who I'm talking to. It's time for you to get out of puberty now. Spiritual puberty. You know, it's time for you to go, I am the Holy Son of God himself. I am the innocent mind of love itself. I am not a body. I am free. I am one with everyone. I am a creator. It's time for you to claim who you really are. Just because somebody taught you something different doesn't mean it was right. And because most of the world believes it, it doesn't mean that it's true. If everybody in this room were getting ready to walk into and jump into a volcano, you wouldn't go, well, I think I'm going to jump into the volcano because most of the people in the room want to. You wouldn't. You go, all of y'all go right along. I ain't getting in the volcano. So that's what I'm telling you. Don't keep going along with what the world has taught you because everybody in the world believes it. If you're just the only one that says, no, I deserve to be happy. I am innocent. I am not born in sin. I am not a victim of the world I see. I am a creator. I do have choice. I do have a guide. I'm willing to listen to my guide. I'm not going to do it alone anymore. I'm not going to try to do it all by myself anymore. And if you are, then I'm going to bless you. I'm not going to attack you. I'm going to see you as being happy, but I'm going to let you do it. I will not interfere with you. I will not interfere with you because there are too many people who've already reached that point where they're going, I want a better way. It's a full-time job working with the people who are ready to go in a new direction rather than for me to ever spend 5 minutes with a person that's not interested in changing. And don't you do it either. Don't try to convert nobody. The minute you talk to somebody and they go, that's some crazy stuff. I ain't interested in that. What you talking about? Don't bring them here. Don't bring your friends here who are not open to this. Please. That's not going to make them comfortable, and it's sure going to be a good time for me. Because they're not going to be sitting up there offering me love. They're just going to be sitting up here offering me suspicion. Thinking I'm a cult leader, or I'm trying to injure people. I don't need that energy, and you know that in most cases when you invite them. You know whether they're going to be open-minded or whether they're going to be closed. That's why you're your friend or relative. You know them. So spare me. Spare me. But somebody that's telling you, hey, guess what, man? I'm really unhappy, and I'm in my woods end. I'm open. I'm ready to hear anything. I just got to get out of this. Bring them. I'm made for them. But not one of your friends or relatives that think they already know. Leave them at home. Please. Please do that for me. Please. But somebody that really wants help, somebody that's really reached their limit, somebody that's saying there must be a better way, I will be there for them every way possible. And I feel that way about you. Y'all awesome. Y'all awesome. So I do live broadcast on Facebook on the Earl Purdy page, 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. Mountain Time. Thursday nights I do hardcore Course in Miracles, that is for Course in Miracles students. Mountain Time. And then Sundays, we do this presentation where it's all of us together, the mighty companions in the room as well as online. So help is here. See, I see you all as me, a part of me. And I want to meet other people who see me as a part of them, not as a man. Not as a separate man. Not as a man that just wants one thing. I don't need any of that programming from your past. I'm not your past. I am not your past. And nobody else in this room is. Nobody in this room is your old boyfriend or girlfriend. Unless they in this room. So in some cases, every now and then, they do show up. I'm ready to change right now. I'm ready to change right now. I'm open to change right now. Let miracles replace all grievances. Let miracles replace all grievances. Say what? Let miracles replace all grievances. Are you willing to do it? Pretend you have excitement. Are you willing to do it? Are you ready to have all the abundance that's your divine right? Are you willing to have the best love and loving you ever had in your life? Are you ready to have relationships that give you so much coochie, 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 coochie? Oh, yeah! for showing up. Hugs are available.